Hi guys, and welcome to the wonderful world of the Hub that is going to help you complete your comprehension questions for the Shylin Purse. Okay, so if you're struggling with the comprehension questions and you look at question number 1, it's asking you to compare and contrast Sing Ling and the servant. That means that you're going to look at how Sing Ling acts and how the narrator makes Sing Ling appear to the reader. Is she nice? Is she mean? Is she spoiled? Is she generous? Is she appreciative? Is she caring? And you're going to look at how the narrator describes the servant. And you're going to tell me what's the same and or what's different between the way that Sing Ling is and the servant is in the story. And then it says explain what the reader learns about both characters from their conflict or problem. Remember, the story plot that we look at, it has a rising action and a climax and a falling action and a resolution. And in the climax, we figure out or discover the problem in the story. But not all plots have just one problem. There's usually smaller problems that happen along the way that feed into or lead up to the bigger problem. So in this case, when we read about Sing Ling and the servant, they're having a conflict, a very small conflict between themselves, and you need to look at that conflict or problem. I believe it's going to be where Sing Ling keeps sending the servant back to return the purse that her mother is trying to get for her dowry. That's going to be the small conflict that you need to look at. And then when you do that, you're going to describe the relationship between them. Remember how we do that, how we did that with Prometheus and Athena, how we looked at the interactions between King Midas and the old man and found out what their relationship was. That's what you're going to do. We already know that this is Sing Ling's servant, but what is their relationship in more depth? Like, was the servant just recently purchased to wait on Sing Ling? Has the servant been with the family all of Sing Ling's life? How dedicated is the servant to serving Sing Ling and the family? That's the type of things that I want you to think about when you describe the relationship. On question number 2, it asks you to reread paragraph 4 on page 239, and you're going to figure out why the author mentions that Sing Ling is not mean-spirited. Why do you think the author wants us to know that despite some of Sing Ling's other characteristics, she's not mean-spirited? And then by the author doing this, do you think that it foreshadows something in the story? And if so, what is it that the author is foreshadowing that Sing Ling might do that shows she's not mean-spirited? Number 3 is asking, in this story, how did the reader learn about what happens to the Shylin Purse? Basically, I'm just asking you, when you read, how did the Shylin Purse, or when did the Shylin Purse reappear? Remember that Sing Ling gave the Shylin Purse away at the beginning of the story to a crying bride. So at what point of the story does it resurface, or do we start hearing about the Shylin Purse again? Number 4 says at the beginning of the story, how does Sing Ling... Oh, I should have said at the beginning of the story, how did Sing Ling feel about the purse? Or how does Sing Ling feel about the purse? But whatever. So at the beginning, how does she feel about the purse? Does she cherish it? Does she think that it's a wonderful gift from her mother? Does she not care about the gift? How does she feel? And then at the end of the story, how does she feel about that same purse? Number 5 says, what was an important role in the plot for the crying bride who Sing Ling gave her purse to? So the crying bride at the beginning of the story, she seems a little insignificant. She's there in the rising actions of the story, and Sing Ling does something, gives her the Shylin Purse, and then we no longer hear about this crying bride anymore. But then if you read the story, you notice where the crying bride comes back into the story. And how is her role, her character role, important to the overall plot? What part does it play? We know that that she was in the rising actions, but is she in the climax of the story, the falling actions of the story, or the resolution? All right, guys, good luck. And remember, if this didn't help you, you need to ask some of your classmates, at least 3, before you come and ask me.